Good evening. Today, the 11th of September 2021. To present Camnet TV main news, my name is Jeffrey Siambo. Top stories in the news tonight. Stepfather defiles a 3-year-old child as mother shows mercy to the perpetrator. A mysterious fire leaves a family of 10 in Lusaka stranded. MMD President Nevas Mumba backs HH's governance approach. In international news, ECOWAS envoys meet Guinea coup leaders, say CONDE is in good health. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo scores twice on his return to Manchester United.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue The Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Pondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Hello once again, another news in detail. A civil rights activist, Brebna Chengala, has advised media bodies to take advantage of what he termed as the excitement by the New Dawn government to champion media freedoms and push for serious media reforms. He says the media must ensure that institutions like the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, are stretched to realize media development as opposed to silencing the media. He says the media has the opportunity to promote professionalism in the industry by coming up with a media body that guarantees self-regulation. Meanwhile, Media Liaison Committee Chairperson Enoch Ngoma gave an update on media self-regulation.
We need to reform the media industry because for a long time, the media has operated in an environment that is not conducive for the media personnel to operate. Among other issues, the immediate thing that we are going to do to work together with the new minister is the media self-regulation framework. This process has already started, as you might know, and all we need to do now is to finalize the Zambia draft bill, which is supposed to be taken to the Ministry of Information and also later taken to the Ministry of Justice, after which is supposed to be tabled in Parliament for enactment. As Media Liaison Committee, we also would like to bring to the attention of the Minister to problems happening in some media houses, like the Times of Zambia, in Lusaka, and also the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation. For ZNBC, what we need is to have the ZNBC Act revisited.
My clarion call is that seize the opportunity while this new administration is excited. Seize the opportunity, reorganize yourselves and create a stronger body that will protect the interests of individual journalists and indeed media houses, where IBA and ZICTA must not encroach and start persecuting media houses who don't sit well in the eyes of the executive, because the biggest culprit when it comes to press freedom injury is the executive. It's not the judiciary, it's not the legislature, it's the executive that runs the business of government on a daily basis. And when you have a head of state who is willing from the onset and declares you as essential workers who must not be abused by anybody else, including a government department, it's very, very important that you seize the opportunity, create a statutory body like the Law Association of Zambia, Medical Association of Zambia, and other professional bodies that will insulate you from any maneuvers by the executive to silence the media. Under the patriotic front, the media was almost going into extinction, oblivion, because there was a watchful eye which didn't want the exposure of their criminal activities. We lost the Prime TV, we lost the Post newspaper, and we saw some radio stations closing in mass. And that is the only time in history that the Ministry of Information had a journalist as a minister, a permanent secretary as a journalist, and yet these two combinations were toxic.
A 3-year-old girl of Lusaka's Ngombe compound has been left traumatized after allegedly being defiled several times by her stepfather. The victim, who is currently living under the care of her 20-year-old mother, is said to be in more danger as her mother is pleading with the police to release the suspect. Meanwhile, the suspect, Shadrach Mwanza, 34, unemployed, is currently in police custody at Kasisi Police Station for the alleged charge of defilement.
Childhood is normally supposed to be a period of innocence, a joyous occasion when parents treasure the lives of their children. This is not the case, though, with a 3-year-old girl of Lusaka's Ngombe Kasisi compound who has been allegedly defiled by her stepfather, Shadrach Mwanza, 34. Not just once, but several times. According to the child's aunt, the poor girl is further alleged to have been physically abused by the stepfather.
Tunatengera mwana janoenda naye pa clinic, Ngombe clinic. Afa tafika kujazona, mwana temperature is high, baba wamuchitako inject uti yo kuringisa temperature. Pamucheckinga pamubiri upeza ina mabruises, then no mucheckinga upeza tizona ina doti yako yauti mwana amusebenzesa. So ni wale bwatuza da, and then mukachinyisa statement ku police kuti si chani sikumumenya chabe but ali defiled mwana. As for us ba family, because mwana jani muono, either ni tate wake si tate wake, mwana jani muono, and it can happen to any child. Muntu amena gwira mwana wa 3 years na mkazi ali naye, si muntu wonka naye mu society. Ise tufuna chabe is better amangiwe ndicho tifuna because mwana muono ngina life.
The mother had allegedly reported that every time her husband defiled the child, she would wrap a piece of cloth around the girl's waist.
Penna bwera mwana kumchecking, and for sure ninapeza mwana gesi sinambelero kumbaramba kudala kumuyuzinga tate wake. So ananuza ta pameniti kamba patate wake bali kudala ku police. Andili ndilizo nyameta apekera ku police. Mwana peze kadi na mabruises kumkosikonsi. So peta inda ku police kuja pezeka kesi inangu. So bwani mwone kapera mungatanze ko munjira iliyonse.
The child's mother, 20 years old, is presently nursing the victim at home. The woman, however, was not ready to speak to the media. She is said to have met the suspect whom she is cohabiting with 5 months ago. With her being pregnant, she wants the man who was arrested by the police over the charge of defilement to be released. She wants the suspect out of police custody in order to take care of clothes for her unborn child. The woman's demand to release the suspect has, however, incensed her neighbors who fear that the alleged defiler would sexually assault the girl again if out of custody. The community are demanding that the matter be taken to court for justice to take its course.
Timvera timukazi afuna saini bamuna bachoke manje pano ise still safe manebazi ndabatiri nabana bakazi. So chinkara choti ofya kuti uja muntu abwerere futi pano pa nyumba.
Kuti na mai wake na hivi aoneka nomu simaningi. So ise chama itifuna chabe ni tandizo ya kuti uja mai wake na kamwana. Ngati kulitandiza memu ngatandize kwa boma. At least uja mwana na mai wake mwatandize kuka.
Cases of defilement and child abuse have increased in Zambia. According to the Zambia Police Service Gender-Based Violence Report for 2020, the nation recorded 2,545 child defilement cases, 2,539 girls, 6 boys. That translated to an average of 7 child cases per day or one case every 3 hours 27 minutes that passes. There is a need, therefore, by parents and caregivers, community leaders and churches to act quickly and address the issues of child development by making their homes safe. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
In a mysterious circumstance, a fire has left a family of 10 in Lusaka's Mtendere compound in Monali constituency shocked and homeless. Saturday, 11th September 2021 was the time the house was gutted for the third time, thereby raising concerns. Authorities have not been able to determine what has been causing the infernos. Meanwhile, Mtendere Ward 38 councillor has called for the decentralization of fire services in order to mitigate calamities. We have more in this report.
This is Mtendere compound in Lusaka's Monari constituency in Lusaka district. The fire has left a family of 10 stranded without a clue of where to seek refuge. Unfortunately, this is what remains of their properties. This house has been gutted 3 times in less than a month, and the fire is said to have started in the master bedroom on the bed on 2 occasions. People around the community are terrified with the bizarre circumstances behind the inferno, which could not be explained as the third wave of the fire claimed the entire house. One of the family members who was in the house explains that the fire started around 14 hours.
I was in the master's bedroom, and then I was quickly having a workout until I smelled some smoke coming from, I don't know where, but when I smelled the smoke, I assumed that it was from outside. But as I was coming out of the bedroom, I'm hearing my sisters shout that there's fire in the house, let's all come out. And right after I opened the door, the only thing I saw was smoke coming out of the bedroom. So as I just wanted to get a bucket of water to spill, and that's how just the fire just somehow increased. And that's how I just had to come out and wait for the fire brigade. So,
is it the first time this is happening?
No, this is the third time. This is the third time this is happening.
And Mtendere Ward 38 councillor Boniface Chibeka, who rushed to the scene, says fire services must be decentralized.
Fire which has engulfed this house, and this is the third time it is happening for 3 consecutive weeks, and in each week on a particular day. And on the final day today, my understanding that the fire started around 14 hours. And the fire brigade also came. By the time they came, but they couldn't save the property. But they've done something, at least the fire could not continue. So now, my appeal especially to the authorities that at least we should have fire tenders in this area, because in each ward, at least let's have the fire tenders so that they can be that quick response.
He has since called on the government and well-wishers to come to the aid of the family.
I'm appealing to the well-wishers, both government and other private citizens or companies who can come and help this family. As you can see, this is a big loss. This is a house. I'm sure they no longer have where they can live, because this is a family and they live here. As I'm talking to you, the owner of the house, the woman, the wife to the owner, has suffered some mental distress, so she has fainted due to mental distress just upon hearing the news that the house is under fire, is under the inferno. So I'm appealing to the well-wishers, those who can come on board and support this family financially and materially, so that they can have where to pick up.
For now, the cause of the fire remains a mystery until the Lusaka City Council and the Zambia Police wind up investigations. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
A banana vendor has told Camnet News that business has been hard owing to the high wholesale prices of bananas. Michael Haloba, a father of 3, says only a few people are managing to buy bananas, hence making it difficult for him to meet basic needs. He has since called on the government to actualize its commitments to safeguard the plight of small and medium enterprises in the country. Patrick Soko reports.
Eating a fruit for many Zambians is no longer a luxury, but a gamble between a durable meal and a fruit, which is a nutritional necessity. Michael Haloba is a banana vendor. He moves from compound to compound with his wheelbarrow in search of customers.
Nina bana batatu na bakazi ndiye mamene nirentinga yamene nchite ndiye mamene nirentingira ndiye mamene njesera na vana odoba karibu yamba wenda ku school tikaliganiza futi kuyenda okuti abantu bakakula bakamba wenda mu school. But it's not only that business of my mind. I have got a lot of business in my mind, but it's only lack of capital. And where can I have that capital?
The father of 3 says business has been hard due to high commodity prices. He says only a few people are able to buy bananas.
So challenge amene ndipeza po mabanana nyakuti mabanana ni odura futi wa customer batandaura kabwera okulisa wa order.
He hopes that the United Party for National Development Administration will reduce the cost of doing business.
Mamene na bwerera na maegi mamene na bwerera na hivi at least na veve bwerereko vakudya vambiri bwerereko so that pamete gurisa na customer na veve vambira ko buno ndrama amene ali nayo ili affordable kugura chintu chamene ogulisa.
So ndrama mitinga kambati ni affordable ingakareko euro zingati mfuna mungizigura ko box or pa zingati
box ingankareko bwino ngati yabwerako pa 100 kwacha ingarako bwino nangugurisa pale ugurisa pale 1 kwacha banana emozi uziwa uti uzapezamo nangu 30 kwacha at least ungaisebenzere cause vambiri mu companies vamasebenzera ma 30 kwacha ma 25 so kasebenzera 30 kwacha nangu 35 tingakambe kwati at least although see meeting our requirement or my challenges ya many tipitamu.
He is confident that the government will uphold its commitment to steer entrepreneurship in the country for people like him to benefit.
Tailandira but chamene chifunika itsankale che monga papepa yakuti vakamba vintu vamene sivichitika. Chifunika chintu chamene vakamba and for sure monga mamene vanakamira kuti makaders no cadres in the market and for sure we see that there is no cadres. That's what should happen even now to us that we need the entrepreneurship to support them. They have to support us without kukamba chabe paper but actually to implement it.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala says undertaking an uncoordinated approach to remove cadres in markets and bus stations may lead to high crime levels in markets and bus stations in the country. In an interview with Camnet TV, Ms. Chitangala says a lot of people in the city are unemployed, hence there is a need for local authorities to handle the situation with caution. Meanwhile, UPND Deputy National Youth Spokesperson Phineas Pomolo has urged the council to start paying workers on time following their complete takeover of markets and bus stations. We have more in this report.
Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala says she is aware that some political cadres have continued to hide and intimidate traders in market and bus stations. She says this will soon come to an end as the local authority are working on ensuring that the issue is sorted out as soon as possible completely.
Remember that this thing has taken place for so many years. It started actually, if I remember very well, in the MMD times. So it was carried forward to the PF time, and then it has been carried forward also this time when we have UPND in government. But remember that in our previous government, this was something that was taking place, and the people of the city, for example, I'll speak about the people of the city, didn't like it. And I've understood that from the time that I was in the council, and understood that it's not a good thing, because this is one of the things that has led PF have this problem of being removed from government, because people were complaining. But as a local authority, obviously we need to take care and sort out this issue, and I'm hoping that we will sort it out as soon as possible.
She has, however, noted that the issue cannot change overnight, as it will need other stakeholders' engagement to handle this situation for it to be sustainable.
We have political will. The president has said he doesn't want that, and of course we have to follow. But remember that we have a lot of people that are unemployed in the city. So there is a way that we need to handle this situation for it to be sustainable. Because if we try and force to just change it right here and then, we are creating a lot of crime in the city, and it will get back to the old-fashioned way. So we have to sit down as a local authority with all the other stakeholders and see that whatever we are going to plan will be a sustainable plan, so that we can cut off this cadreism from all the markets and all the bus stops.
Meanwhile, The ruling party Deputy National Youth Spokesperson says it is high time that the council start paying its workers on time after they completely took over.
The ruling United Party for National Development Alliance spokesperson Leslie Chikuse has described the speech delivered by President Hakainde Hichilema during the first session of the 13th National Assembly as comprehensive. In an interview, Mr. Chikuse says what was disclosed in the speech is something that many Zambians have been waiting to hear for a long time, as it gives them peace and hope that things will be better. He reiterates that the people of Zambia must anticipate things to change as development is underway.
Emphasis on economic growth and creating economic opportunities for the people. I think that was the center stage, the fight against corruption. But also, I think that the most important thing was the president's call that there must be recovery of stolen, stolen properties or stolen money that belongs to government through a fast-track court. I think that is very important, not so much emphasizing on only arrest, but making sure that there is an alternative of fast-track of way of recovering. I think that was very important. But also the call for the environmental, the evergreen environmental area. I think that was also very good. The youth empowerment and the women empowerment, and very importantly, the aspect of embarking on entrepreneurship, and that people must begin to run their own businesses.
The United Party for National Development, UPND government, says it will give an official position on the way forward surrounding Zambia Airways. The Zambian Airways agenda was being championed by the former governing political party, the Patriotic Front, amid serious opposition from non-state actors who felt it was not feasible amid considering the current fiscal position. Last month, the Industrial Development Corporation announced 30th September 2021 as the date for commercial operationalization of the national carrier. Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali says he will provide full information regarding the national airline soon. More in the following report.
Is in place for Zambian Airways 2014 Limited, and that's what we are calling the company that shall bring to life the national carrier in conjunction with the Ethiopian Airlines. But I guess it's rather premature that just a day or two after getting into office that I must begin to talk about that. I think allow me to settle, and we shall be able to give a more comprehensive statement as far as that is concerned.
It's what we call in my ministry reciprocity. Okay? Reciprocity is where we as a country need to put up a legal framework where Zambian truckers, for instance, are disadvantaged as far as when they cross the border, for instance, into the Congo or even in the DRC. But they have almost free access through our roads. So we need, through SADC, that we can work with our partners in the region, that we level the playing field. I think that the Zambian transporter ought to have a fair share of the massive trucks that are on the road. Over 700 trucks, for instance, on the lake between CONDE all the way down to Basumbalesa. Most of which, about 65% of which are foreign trucks.
Patriotic Front member of the Central Committee, Professor Nkanduluo, has urged United Party for National Development Chairperson Special Duties William Banda to desist from vindictive policies. Professor Nkanduluo says the move by Mr. Banda to victimize a citizen on account of having been suspected of having millimio from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, is unfortunate. Professor Luo, who was former President Edgar Lungu's running mate in the just-ended general election, says the move must be condemned by all well-meaning Zambians.
A footage right here in Munari constituency where William Banda carried police and the press to go and harass one of the residents somewhere near Salambo Park. And I think the public should condemn that, because the country does have the law enforcement agencies, and if there is any report that has been made to the police or otherwise that there is something happening here, what we should see as a country is the enforcement agencies, because what we were told by the president of this republic was that there will not be witch hunting, there will not be harassing people. But what I saw on television, in fact you carried it as Camnet, is no harassment. So we as people of Zambia should remember that if it's not that person today, it will be me tomorrow. And some of these people are just innocent citizens who are just conducting innocent business, and I don't think they should be harassed. People should be given space to do what they're doing. If they want to follow people, they should follow those who have been reported as having been involved in illegal and illicit activities. And we as an opposition party will not condemn that, because the police and other law enforcement agencies will be doing their job. But I think to be harassing innocent citizens is actually not right. And I hope the gentleman who was involved in that will take this up legally. And there was mention of a former minister, and I hope he will demand that that former minister is mentioned so that this can be dealt with. And
Movement for Multiparty Democracy, MMD President Dr. Nevas Mumba says he will support the United Party for National Development's government if it upholds the elements of good governance demonstrated in the presidential speech. Dr. Mumba believes that if the UPND government manages to curb hooliganism and the infiltration of cadres, the country will be able to develop. And Dr. Mumba says he's impressed with the commitments made on the fight against corruption, saying it corresponds with his party's stance on corruption. I have more in this report.
Dr. Nevas Mumba, the leader of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD, who was among contenders in the just-ended general election, which saw President Hakainde Hichilema emerge as Zambia's 7th Republican president, shared his thoughts about the presidential speech during the official opening of the 13th session of the National Assembly. Dr. Mumba is happy with the pronouncements made to curb the infiltration of political cadres in public places.
Basically, number one, his insistence on the rule of law, meaning that never again are we going to go to a country where hooliganism is the order of the day. Also where cadres hold the law in their own hands. If we can see this thing implemented, we are going to give ourselves as a nation an opportunity to develop.
Pastor Mumba also held the approach taken to combat corruption in the country, which he said tallies with the MMD agenda.
Party democracy takes that aspect of fighting corruption as a personal fight or as an institutional fight on behalf of the MMD. We will support these virtues and aspirations of this new administration as long as they remain committed to the issues that the president has raised, to fight corruption and ensure that they support the institutions so charged with the responsibility of fighting corruption. And in this case, we are talking about the SEC, DEC, even the police service, that they need to become professional now. It's the only way we can compete on the global platform for sustainable development if we are organized, we have the rule of law, we are fighting corruption, we give an opportunity to the country to develop.
He believes once most of the pronouncements are implemented, the country will witness massive development.
The participation of the private sector in making sure that we move the economy forward. Not only the public sector, but also giving a lion's share to the Zambian investor in his own economy so that Zambians have a better and a greater percentage of participation in the organization and in the improvement of our economy. So we think these are the basic principles of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. We believe in private sector-driven economy. If we can together be united to be able to fight these things that have discouraged us from growing and going forward, I believe we have an opportunity to develop this country.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after this break.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
At Zambia Express Printing, we have the capacity to deliver quality in all kinds of printing services timely. Our lines of production include screen printing, embroidery, lithography, and large format printing. We take pride in delivering quality work at very competitive rates with our in-house, highly experienced and qualified designers. With the ability to print full color and embossing prints, our state-of-the-art screen printing machines are able to print 1,000 pieces per hour. Our embroidery machines are able to print any logo with 1 or up to 12 colors all at once and has an output capacity of 100 pieces per hour. Zambia Express Printing also does large format printing for billboards, banners, vinyl, car stickers, posters, tire covers, cups, pens, bags, flasks, packaging boxes, and well, just anything that can need printing. For inquiries, give us a call on 0960 344 471.
Camnet TV turns 5. We are excited to be the best community Christian TV channel within Zambia and across the world. With our programming for all age groups, talk of sermons, movies, kids programs, music, talk shows, developmental programs, and our unbiased, factual and balanced news. To you, our viewers, we are saying thank you for being part of this journey. Happy 5th anniversary. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Lusaka-based youth activists are optimistic that the Ministry of Technology and Science and the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises will facilitate youth empowerment in the country. Youth activist Matthew Mushikiti has commended President Hakainde Hichilema for responding to the youth's call by introducing the two ministries. We have details in the following report.
Youth are formidable assets for national prosperity and potential development catalysts, ensuring their health, investing in education, and building their skills for gainful employment and entrepreneurship are among a country's strategic obligations. To properly invest in youth, a government and its stakeholders must understand the obstacle its youth face, including social factors and how they can enable their full civic and economic participation. During an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, a Lusaka-based youth activist, Matthew Mushikiti, explained some of pertinent issues that the youth expects in the new administration to address.
I think if you followed what the president has always sang about the issues of reducing the cost of doing business, time is money. And I think the whole process of setting up the business, if it would take a lot of time for you to do all these things, it also shows that it is a cost on the business. I think even the issues of coming up with one border posts, where you find all these business transactions to do with registrations are in one. You find PACRA is there, ZDA is there, NAPSA is there, ZRA is there. So all that is about reducing the time frame that it will take for one to set up the business. And I'm pretty sure the president coming from the private sector, coming from the business world, I'm pretty sure he understands how all those things are supposed to be done.
Mr. Mshikiti is optimistic that the Ministry of Technology and Science and the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise will facilitate youth capacity building in the country.
Technology and all that. So that is my expectation. And I think all that offers, you know, an opportunity to the young people to venture into issues of all what technology is all about. And it can only take the young mind, because this technology, I don't think it was there. It is now when all the global world, the global economy is anchored on science and technology. And the private sector must be anchored on small and medium enterprises. Meaning there should be an enabling environment where young minds that are able to identify opportunities and invest their energies towards production fit in. So creating that ministry in one way or the other for me is an extension of the Ministry of Youth. Because Ministry of Youth in itself, I think the focus was so much on just these empowerment programs that had no proper foundation or that were not well defined. But having the ministry that just looks at business transactions, I think this is the best time actually if one has ever thought of being an entrepreneur.
And the Youth Empowerment Movement YEM Vice Chairperson Mwaka Fwambo has noted with concern that in the recent past, young women are sidelined in the youth empowerment programs, and she echoes the need to consider young women in youth empowerment programs.
For the females, I feel it is very important, first of all, to empower a woman, because that reduces her vulnerability. And it's a huge achievement for our country to be able to empower women in that area, because then we see women being not being subjected to abuse, not being subjected to early marriages. We see women being able to stand for themselves, which is very important, and that in itself brings development for the country.
For them,
for the women, it's important that we have structures, more skills facilities, that more skill centers that will help, of course, affordable facilities that each woman is able to obtain. And to be specific, we have these programs where we can have women being taught how to do these chefing, small skills such as chefing, hospitality, and from there they can then be channeled into voluntary work just for the sake of experience, and from there be able to build from those skills that they've been taught. We have tailoring, we have many skills that women are passionate about but don't have the opportunity to actually venture into these skills.
President Hakainde Hichilema has so far reiterated the government's position on youth empowerment without leaving anyone behind. One can only wait for implementations. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The United Mine Workers Union of Zambia, UMUZ, has backed government's agenda for the mining sector. UMUZ President Wisdom Ngwira says President Hakainde Hichilema's efforts to increase local participation in the mining sector will result into job creation. Mr. Ngwira has stated that the increase in copper and other mineral production such as gold, manganese and cobalt, among others, will increase the earnings from the sector. We have more in the following report.
It goes without saying, the mining sector plays a key role in Zambia's economy, contributing over 70% to national GDP. Following President Hakainde Hichilema's speech during the opening of the first session of the 13th National Assembly, the United Mine Workers Union of Zambia has backed government's plans on the mining sector. UMUZ President Wisdom Ngwira has backed the president's effort to increase local participation in the mining sector, saying it will result into job creation.
Mr. Hakainde Hichilema for his well-articulated speech on the mining sector. The mining sector plays a key role in our economy. As a union, we are in support of government's effort to increase in the local participation in the sector, because this will result into job creation for our people, more especially the youths, and additionally the profits realized will be shared equally amongst the Zambians. In the speech, the President spoke about increased investment in the sector. This will result into more job creation, resulting into more money in people's pockets, as well as boosting the country's economy.
Mr. Ngwira has further stated that the increase in copper and other mineral production will increase the earnings.
The labor movement would like to urge government to quickly formulate a policy that would immediately ban the exportation of mineral raw materials such as copper concentrates, slimes, copper presters, and other copper-related raw materials. On the offering of incentives in the sector, this will result into increased investments, which also will result into higher employment rates for our people, more especially the youths, and increased production. On the part of fair share on our mineral wealth, this will motivate the workers to work hard and be more productive. Additionally, this will also result into reduced accidents.
Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights Director Richard Nkua has appealed to the government to promote partnerships with and among civil society organizations in order to combat gender-based violence and early marriages. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Nkua states that there is need to ensure coordination in the implementation of gender-related policies.
We are appealing to them to say that they need to come up with policy that will enable us as a civil society how we are going to work together, and also how we are going to eliminate gender-based violence, and also how we are going to eliminate the issues of early marriages in the country. We are also looking forward to see that we are not intimidated, our people are not intimidated. We want to carry out our duties, civic duties, as an organization free, and also in collaboration with the government institutions without any interference. I think that is the best what we are looking forward. And also we had some challenges, more especially in the area of transport. We had some challenges in the area where how to sustain ourselves in terms of rentals, because we are renting in this. So if the new government that will be in place in a few days to come, they can come to our aid and see how best they can help us, so that we help the community to eliminate these cases of gender-based violence and early marriages in the country.
The Mental Liberty Foundation has encouraged people across the country, especially men, to always seek counseling when faced with challenges, as suicide is not the solution. Speaking when they reached out to the children's orphanage at Insansa village, Mental Liberty Foundation Program Manager Duncan Nkoma notes that with concern that majority of men continue to be victims of suicide because of the mentality that they are shock absorbers. Mental Liberty Foundation decided to reach out to the children as a way of commemorating World Suicide Prevention Day, which falls on the 10th of September.
Cases on suicide, especially on the men. So we are here just to encourage them that Mwamuna Amalila, it's okay to cry. It's okay to open up when things are not okay. So we are here, and this organization carries about 40 boys. So no wonder we chose this organization, and we are reaching out today. And this is also just to recognize the World Suicide Prevention Awareness Day that happened yesterday. So yeah, we are here in Avondale just to encourage.
The Local Government Association of Zambia is impressed with government on its resolve to accelerate the implementation of the decentralization policy. Association Acting Executive Director Mpatanji Namumba says the association is elated by President Hakainde Hichilema's address to the first session of the 13th National Assembly, in which he reiterates his administration's resolve to give the decentralization process practical expression. Ms. Namumba says since decentralization involves the devolution of functions to local levels in line with the principle of finance follows function. Fiscal decentralization is an integral and key part of decentralization.
As Local Government Association of Zambia, we are elated by our Republican President's inspiring address to the first session of the 13th National Assembly, in which, his government has resolved to give decentralization practical expression. I think this is an important program where implementation in the past has been a challenge, and yet the Zambian people have declared through the Republican Constitution that this is the way they want to be governed, as a way of enhancing local democracy. And so for any decentralization process to work, there is need that the process is accompanied by matching resources. And in the past, we haven't seen the commitment to that effect.
This is Camnet TV News. We'll take another break. We'll be back with more news.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
At Zambia Express Printing, we have the capacity to deliver quality in all kinds of printing services timely. Our lines of production include screen printing, embroidery, lithography, and large format printing. We take pride in delivering quality work at very competitive rates with our in-house, highly experienced and qualified designers. With the ability to print full color and embossing prints, our state-of-the-art screen printing machines are able to print 1,000 pieces per hour. Our embroidery machines are able to print any logo with 1 or up to 12 colors all at once and has an output capacity of 100 pieces per hour. Zambia Express Printing also does large format printing for billboards, banners, vinyl, car stickers, posters, tire covers, cups, pens, bags, flasks, packaging boxes, and well, just anything that can need printing. For inquiries, give us a call on 0960 344 471.
Camnet TV turns 5. We are excited to be the best community Christian TV channel within Zambia and across the world. With our programming for all age groups, talk of sermons, movies, kids programs, music, talk shows, developmental programs, and our unbiased, factual, and balanced news. To you, our viewers, we are saying thank you for being part of this journey. Happy 5th anniversary. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue The Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Pondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. In international news, a Zimbabwean court Friday upheld a traditional court's ruling that the body of former President Robert Mugabe should be exhumed and reburied at a national shrine in the capital. The Chinoi Magistrate Court rejected an appeal by Mugabe's children that the traditional court's ruling should be ignored, Mugabe family lawyer Fungai Chimwaroumbe said. Meanwhile, Guinea's new military rulers are under increased diplomatic pressure. The African Union has suspended the country after last weekend's coup. For more, here's a roundup of global news.
The delegation of the Economic Community of West African States arrived with two things in mind: to push for a quick return to constitutional order and to free deposed President Alpha Conde. To do that, they needed to meet this man, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, who toppled the 83-year-old Conde. After an hour of talks, some concessions, and Guinea's strongman left with ECOWAS in tow. Next destination, the headquarters of the Guinean Special Forces, where they met Alpha Conde.
We met with the CNRD headed by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya. We've had positive exchanges. We also had the opportunity to meet the former president, Alpha Conde. We also spoke to him. Because we are mandated by the other heads of state, we're going to make a report.
The first contact with Guinea's coup leaders appeared to have gone well, with Doumbouya leaving an impression.
He was very open, very frank. We had very frank conversation, engagement, and like I said, we will go back. What we discussed is not for public consumption at this point.
What the delegation didn't achieve, however, was to restore Alpha Conde to power immediately, or fly him out of Guinea, as was the case in Mali when former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta was deposed by the army. Analysts blame ECOWAS leaders for the constitutional crisis.
They have been sleeping on the wheels of the organization instead of really being proactive, addressing the challenges inside its member states, its 15 member states. They have been really complacent.
Tough negotiations still lie ahead for both ECOWAS and the coup leaders. Colonel Doumbouya and his fellow military officers are under intense pressure, both at home and abroad. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the African Union are pushing him hard for a quick return to constitutional order. On the domestic front, there are huge expectations for a nation that has gone through difficult times. The next few weeks will be followed closely by Guineans, and if ECOWAS and the African Union decide to impose sanctions, their plight could worsen.
A Zimbabwean court Friday upheld a traditional court's ruling that the body of former President Robert Mugabe should be exhumed and reburied at a national shrine in the capital. The Chinoi Magistrate Court rejected an appeal by Mugabe's children that the traditional court's ruling should be ignored. The three children had challenged the exhumation ruling made by the traditional chief of the Vimba area, Mugabe's rural home. Mugabe's current grave in the Vimba area is part of the chief's jurisdiction. The chief had ruled in May that Mugabe's widow, Grace, had violated traditional customs by organizing Mugabe's burial in the family home compound. He also fined Grace 5 cows and a goat for not carrying out the burial properly. Mugabe's three children, who did not attend the chief's court hearing, appealed the ruling in June. Mugabe's body is unlikely to be moved quickly, as the case is likely to remain in the court for a long time, according to the lawyer.
It's now time for sports news. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice on his return to Manchester United as the hosts eventually cruised to victory against Newcastle United and delighted a packed Old Trafford Stadium. Cheered from the moment he left the team coach on his arrival at the ground throughout the warm-up, and then once the game had started, Ronaldo repaid the backing in the best possible manner. 12 years after he last scored for Manchester United in this stadium, Ronaldo broke the deadlock in first half at a time when he tapped in after visiting keeper Freddie Woodman spilled Mason Greenwood's shot. Then, after Javier Manquillo had leveled with his first Newcastle goal, Ronaldo finished off a flowing move by racing onto Luke Shaw's through ball and drilling a low shot through Woodman's legs. Sydney Wemba, who is participating in the prestigious Zanaco Masters golf tournament, says he is confident that he is going to win the tournament. In an interview with Camnet Sport at the LUSAKA Golf Club Saturday morning, Wemba says the tournament is going well so far. The golfer is being supported by Camnet TV.
Let me say it wasn't tough for me, but I just that today I find some challenges in the golf course because of the weather. Yesterday I was -1, today I showed my +3, which is bad for me for today. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to shoot 4-5 under tomorrow. I think what I could say is that we need more tournaments. If we have more tournaments, I'm sure our game will be somewhere there, whereby we can even compete outside Zambia.
To end the news, we take a look at the stories making headlines again. Stepfather defiles a 3-year-old child as mother shows mercy to the perpetrator. A mysterious fire leaves a family of 10 in Lusaka stranded. MMD President Nevers Mumba backs HH's governance approach. In international news, ECOWAS envoys meet Guinea coup leaders, say CONDE is in good health. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice on his return to Manchester United. The Camnet word verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 12, verse 20 to 21, and it reads, "But if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For in so doing, you will be heaping fiery coals on his head. Do not be conquered by evil, but conquer evil with good." My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and thanks for watching Camnet TV Main News. Bye-bye.